Welcome, everyone, to Sunshine Lane's Unraveling Tales, where a group of bookish friends take you on our reading journey. We bring you TBR recommendations, exclusive bookish interviews, and event shenanigans. I'm Carrie, and on today's episode, I'm joined by Reid and Rebecca. Join us in our excitement as we chat with our next author, Faye Knightley. It's so nice to meet you, Faye. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
It's nice to meet you guys too. It's fun to be here.
For anyone that is not familiar with you yet, tell us about yourself. What are you known for?
I'm known for paranormal romance. It's kind of like more fantasy romance sometimes, but there's always a supernatural element. Even in some historical stuff I've done, there's that supernatural element just thrown in. I'm not someone who can read or write contemporary because I really crave that escapism. So I tend to deliver that to my readers as well. Lots of romance, always a happily ever after, just a lot of heartbreak, generally speaking, a lot of drama. I love the drama. So you can follow me for the drama, and then I guarantee a happily ever after. I can't do a non-happily ever after, so
Go here for it.
Yeah. All right. How did you get into writing? And is there anything you'd like to say to a potential new fan out there?
How did I get into writing? So I was thinking about this the other day, and I was posting about it on my TikTok. When I was very little, I can remember rewriting movies or TV shows that I didn't like the ending of. So I would be dissatisfied with it, and my brain would be like, no, it's okay. I'm going to comfort you. This is not how it really went. And I would just sort of rewrite the narrative to like suit myself, which is a weird thing, but that's sort of how it started for me. Was this like, I don't like the way that happened in Bambi. Maybe the mother doesn't.
Right.
In the never-ending story,
Oh, yes.
I really like the character Atreyu, and so and I had a little crush on him as a kid too.
Same.
Anyways, so I was like, I need more of that character. That's not enough for me. And so in my mind, he like went on some more adventures and stuff. So it was sort of this wanting to hold on to characters and stories and continue them, and also change them in a more satisfying way for myself, because I couldn't stand when things didn't end the way I thought that they should end. So that's kind of how it started. I just was mostly completely in my head stuff where I would like sort of see it as a movie, be bored, and my brain would kind of be like, okay, well, here's a story to entertain yourself. In high school, I wrote a little bit, but I'm a very sensitive soul, and I wasn't really ready to share a lot at that stage of my life. So I really only shared it with one person or one or two people, the stories. And actually, in my recent book that's out, I'm currently sending a copy of Ancients to the only person I ever... Oh, the book! It's a great distraction. Ooh, that's so exciting. I just love to look at it. I'm sending her a copy. It was very awkward because I haven't spoken to her in a lot of years, but it was somebody who I remembered telling the whole story to. It's the only person I could remember ever telling the story to. So I had to like message her out of the blue on Facebook and be like, hey, it's been a minute. Can I have your mailing address? And she asked me some like verifier questions. She's like, what dogs did you have when we met? Was her question. To make sure I wasn't hacked and like trying to get her mailing address. So anyway, she's hopefully going to be excited to see it. But yeah, I wasn't really ready to share things yet. I wish I had been, but wasn't. So I've got a backlog of stories in my brain now as a result. I only really started writing at age 34, so quite a bit later on down the road. And just I wrote a little short story to just kind of bond with my niece who was into writing. And I was like, you know what? I should try and write out some of the stories that I have fully fleshed out and very vivid characters. Like I feel what they feel, and I decided to give it a go. So that's sort of how I got started. I just felt like I was at a place where sharing it was more important than caring about what people would think about it. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I was at a place where I was like, yeah, well, some people might not like it, but if a couple of people do, then that's such a rewarding feeling that it trumped any kind of qualms I had about keeping things to myself. So qualms I had.
I'm certainly glad you did.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's fun chatting with you on the ARC group.
It's been so great.
I really like it. I've replayed Ancients in my head a bunch of times because it is like a little movie in my head, and it was always one of my favorite stories. It's the first one I wrote out as a proper book 5 years ago. So
yes, I love it. All right,
I feel like that's a later question, so I'll not.
All right, so we're going to switch it up, and we are going to give a reminder that this episode is rated R. Our entire podcast is rated R. It's romantasy, and so we are intended for audiences above 18. So let's play a game just for you, Faye. It's basically a bookish edition of Fuck, Marry, Kiss, but for you, we're going to use characters only from your series, and we're going to do a little version called Bite, Ban, or Bond. So witches, vampires, werewolves, who are you biting, who are you banishing, and who are you soul bonding with forever?
Aw, forever. Okay, so I actually thought about this because I had the questions ahead of time. I would not have thought of something good on the spot at all. There's a character in the second book of Ancients who is just awful. My beta reader regularly will message me out of the blue and be like, "Did you kill him yet? Please kill that character." And his name is Eaton, so I will bite him because you want to have some physical violence against that man. I'll just say that as a teaser for the second book, but he evokes a feeling of physical violence. Ban the alpha of Pax Singer, which is my breeders series. He's kind of made some bad decisions. I think he needs to get kicked out of their society. He should not be in charge. And Bond would be David from David. And I'm sorry. It has to be. Also because he's super powerful, and so that feels really like beneficial.
He's a good one.
All right, so before we get into your newest released Ancients, can you tell us a little bit about the other series that you've written so far, and then what types of readers would enjoy them?
So my Breeders series it's a lot more kinky than Ancients, and it's very dystopian. So I like dystopian societies. I like exploring how characters deal with different kinds of setups in their societies. In Ancients, the second book, they go back to an island community that is set up very differently, and so that again is going to be very dystopian. But Breeders is post-apocalyptic dystopian, so it's a little bit different in that way. Strong feelings, strong emotions. Characters is very forbidden romance, so the way that their pack is structured, they're not supposed to have mates or fall in love, so obviously that's not going to work. That's why we're going to ban that alpha in that game there. Anyway, it's very fated mates, forbidden love, messed up society, post-apocalyptic werewolf. So they're werewolves, and that has the whole pack dynamic as well. Humans have killed themselves off through nuclear war, but the Lycans have survived because they are stronger physically than the humans. So they've just kind of taken over and formed their own society of packs, and there's the big 10 packs that have divided up the territory and stuff. It's a fun series. I really love it. It's interconnected standalone, so people like that versus it sticking with the same character. Ancient sticks with the same characters, but Breeders is very, we're going to see some different sides of this society where mates aren't allowed and the different roles that they have within their society. So there's more exploration that way of how the dystopian society functions. So if you like dystopian, basically, and you like it kinky, because that one,
even better.
See me. It's a good thing it's an R-rated podcast, because
we do like our 5 chili peppers.
Let's just say that mates are forbidden, but they still got to make babies. You know, they got to have those babies. So they have a very special method for it, and you can't remove feelings from that, if you know what I mean. So yeah,
interesting.
that's the Breeder series. Love it. Lots of fun. And then Ancients is a whole other thing. And yeah, those are the 2 series I'm currently airing.
Oh.
Releasing.
Okay, well, speaking of tropes, fated mates, and all of that, what are some of your favorite tropes to read?
Oh, absolutely fated mates. I'm such a sucker for that. Oh, they have a
Okay.
special connection. Oh, it's a soul
Same.
connection. And like,
Same.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sweet thing. I love miscommunication too. When you just, you know both sides of the story and you're like, come on, get it together.
Yep.
And drama, I'm sucker for drama. Like relationship or there's a baby but there was a miscommunication and he didn't know it was his but he would have been there, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like I eat that up. So those are some of my favorites. Secret Identity is fun. I've played with that a bit in Breeders and I enjoy it when I'm reading as well. A mystery element is good. Like you don't know why this person is acting this way and slowly it's revealed and it's like, oh no, they're a really good person underneath.
Yeah.
It's just that they were in this circumstance that you didn't know about. So that kind of stuff.
Okay. Do you have anything fun on your TBR right now?
I was thinking about that and looking at my TBR and being I have thrown a glass on my TBR for a bit now.
Me
I'm
too.
so scared. Yeah?
I'm the only one of our friend group that hasn't read it yet, I think.
I
So,
did.
yeah.
I did Akatar last year,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it. It was good.
Mhm.
And I know Throne of Glass is another big series of Sarah J. Maas, but it's like an intimidating series. It's really large, and everything
Yeah.
people say about it is like it's gonna suck you in. It will be your personality. And I'm like, when do I start this? When do I feel like I have?
When is a good time to
Mental-
schedule my existential breakdown? Like,
It's commitment. It's commitment.
It is a commitment. It is. It's a
How many
worthwhile
books is it
commitment.
again?
8, I think.
8.
Yes, 8 books.
Oh, it's just a
Yeah.
lot
It
of
is,
books.
yeah.
And they get bigger
Yeah.
as you go
I mean,
on.
I
So
will
it's,
get
yeah.
into it. It is on my TBR. But yeah, and I'm an old school fantasy person as well. Like I used to read a lot more fantasy. I read Brandon Sanderson still. So
Mhm.
the fact that it's a little more high fantasy is intriguing. I will enjoy that as long as it has the drama and the romance in there.
Love it.
But not contemporary. There has to be some kind of fae. Vampire. Someone's a witch. Come on.
Yeah.
Real life is boring.
Someone with some kind of magical powers, like
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my books is past lives. That's interesting enough. You know, it's like it just can't be like. Yeah. Anyway. That's my rant.
All right, Faye. So I am going to read the back cover of your newest release, Ancients. And so this, guys, I was able to arc read this, and it released on, gosh, what day was it?
June 21st.
June 21st. I knew that.
June 21st.
I knew that. Yes, it was World Draft Day.
Yeah,
but-
last
weekend. So have my hard copy now, and so I'm going to read the back of this, and I'm going to ask you about it after. So it says,
Ooh.
Sarah, lost, alone, adrift. I'm a ghost in my own life, haunted by a dream of being chased through the woods by shadowy figures that must exist within my lost childhood memories. With what my family was like, I've always thought it was for the best that the car accident blotted out the worst of their emotional abuses, but then I meet David, and the dream starts to visit me nightly. There's something about him, something that brings me to life like no other thing has. It's more than a want, it's a need, and when my clan leader tasks me with determining whether he's a threat to us, all I can tell for sure is that he isn't a vampire, a witch, or a werewolf. David. I came here searching for a lost child. All I've ever wanted was to save her and bring her home, but we're not children anymore, and I can't pretend I'm not hopelessly attracted to the stunning woman she's grown into. The secrets of our past are mine to share, but how can I, when doing so, will ruin the life she's struggled to build for herself? I'm supposed to stay away, to be her friend, but I never expected the pull between us to be so powerful. Okay, sorry.
my book babies.
I know. So I know this has been in the works for many years for you. You said 5. How excited are you to finally get this series out to the public? And tell us what this process has been like and what readers can expect from this journey you're taking us on.
Yeah, so I mean, I say 5 years, but that's just because Ancients was the first thing I really wrote. So it had been in my head since high school. And I'm turning 41 in September. So that's a long, long time So it's been, it's been in there. So It's not exactly 5 years, but it's been 5 years since I wrote it as a draft. And it was the first book that I wrote. And since then I've written, I don't even know, a number of books. Let me think about this. 7 books. Yeah. So since then I've written a lot more. I've drafted a lot more. I only have 2 other releases. But I was sort of waiting until I felt prepared to come back to Ancients. I wanted to be able to revisit it when I was a stronger writer, when I felt like I could do it justice, because for me it's very vivid in my mind. And I wanted that one I wanted to make sure I got right, because it was that first story for me. It's important to me to get it right. It's meaningful. So yeah, so 5 years ago, and I only just decided, I wrote 2 books in the Breeder series, and that series was starting to get a lot of readers and a lot of traction. And I was like, I can't just leave Ancients behind and not come back and revisit it. And it has been sitting on the shelf and it has been waiting for its time to shine. And so I decided I will put Breeders on the shelf instead, just for a little tiny while, and go back to Ancients and get that out the door, because it was important for me, now that I've been more establishing my author career, to take that first book and try and find a way to do it justice. So that's been the process. It's been a lot more emotional than my other books. Like, I have 2 published books, a novella and then a co-written novella that are all out. So you'd think I'd been through like this release process, and I've had teams of arcs before, I've run the arc group before, I've done all these things, but this book has brought out a lot of emotions, because it's the kind of thing where I didn't think it was gonna be a published work, where it wasn't on my mind as a teen, like, oh, this is going to be a thing that I'm going to be able to actually write out, that I'm going to be able to share with people. It was kind of this story that existed in my brain. To get to do that now, it's been very moving. It's been an interesting, different kind of process from the other books I've put out, which sounds lame, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so since the story's been in your head for a long time before you got it on paper, what inspired you to write this book? Or not write the book, but the story. Like, what inspired? Like, what?
Sorry.
What inspired you to write this book? Like, since it was in your head for so long, like, was it what was the initial inspiration of that story?
So I don't know if I can pinpoint anything specific. I know that, and I realized this much later, that the main characters are sort of loosely based on the Buffy Angel relationship from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I know the story is very, very different. I know I love Buffy. It's still my favorite show. The first 3 seasons of Buffy, that was like that was gold for me. And I was so obsessed with it. And I think that show really taught me that you could have these human emotions in non-human characters, and you could have this like soap opera dynamic. And it's just, I think that inspired me to be like, well, I can make my own soap opera. And I loved the love story too with Buffy and Angel. And so that kind of definitely inspired those characters' feelings for each other, like the way they're burned very hot for each other. But I also was a big reader and had read books that talked a lot about mental connections between characters and soulmates and stuff. L.J. Smith was an author I read a lot at that age, and just that was also an intriguing idea. So I think that kind of inspired the way they're able to talk mentally and get closer to each other than we're able to get closer to each other in real life settings, right? Like, oh, you might finish someone's sentences, but in Ancients, they're actually, one of them can be reading a book, their minds can be joined, and they can communicate like a joke between them. Like, it's like, oh, how are you processing that sentence? Oh, that's funny. It's different. And I liked that idea of the closeness, of having the characters be able to get closer with their mental connection. And also just like the mental connection stuff is interesting, because I feel like the characters are more seen by each other when you have mental connections or soul connections within books. Like, you can be vulnerable as you want with a person, but it's still just words. It's not It's not the same as I am in your mind. I can see how you think, and I like how you think, and I like your mind is a very unique thing that I think I enjoyed and that I took into my world and made this great love affair out of it. And
Right.
Avatar has a bit of that too.
Yeah.
It does, yeah,
Mhm, it does,
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We know an author's series can be like their children, but do you have a favorite that you're more attached to over others?
This one.
This one?
I don't even need to think about it.
Okay.
100% Ancients. Thank you. Yeah, it's like 12 books worth of books in this series, and because of that, I stay with these characters for a really long time. It's the same characters, and they go through a lot of different things as they go through their lives. So while I love all my characters, I love all my books, it's not the same connection to them as to these people in these stories, because I was with them through a lot, and this was also over a lot of years of my life too, where I was going through this, what their stories were, and playing it to myself, and just them being with me and me being with them for such a long time. It's 12 books worth of story. And I didn't think to myself, I am going to write a book and this will be the opening and the middle and the end. It's just, there are arcs, and I thought to myself, how would I divide this into books? And so as I sliced and diced the story, it's about 12 books long, but there's marriage, there's divorce, there are 8 children. I think it's 8. Don't quote me on that. There's death, there's resurrection. There's a lot that they go through, and I'm with them through it. So definitely this series is my favorite book series.
I'm here for the ride, Faye. I'm here.
It's quite a ride. Quite a ride. I hope the supernatural soap opera nature of it isn't like, oh god, they're going through something again, because it goes through a lot. It's a lot of drama. See my point about how I bring drama.
Yeah.
There's infidelity. What else is there? Kidnappings.
Oh my.
Characters getting lost in different worlds.
Yep.
There's like a lot. Anyway. I digress. This is like a lot of books later on. Wars, right. There's wars, there's experimentation by humans on ancient kind. Yep. There's a lot.
Yep.
Just plot bombing you, Reid.
It's okay. I'm so here. Okay. You guys will get there when you read it, I promise. So our podcast is currently featuring authors from Romantasy BookCon in October, coming here to Orlando. And as of now, we won't get to meet you there because I really wanted to. But would you consider coming to similar events in the future? Are there any events that you have planned?
Yeah, so I love doing events, actually. It really gets me fired up. Getting to talk to people in person about my books is like the most delightful experience. I come home and I crash horribly, but it's like, oh, I'm overexcited and like crash. I love doing events, but it's very much where an event is located, you know, what the financial ability to attend would be. And also it's a time consideration too. Like I'm doing a couple of book fairs. I'm doing Pages and Pleasures in Ottawa this coming spring. But if I do a lot of book fairs, it is prepping books and then attending the conference. And it does take away from time to be writing and editing and stuff. So I have to be very choosy in that sense as well. But absolutely, I would love to hear more about events. I would love to do more events. Cool. It's more of a fun thing to do. Yeah. To me, it's like that's the fun thing to do. I have so much work to do.
Yes.
That's more of the attitude of it. It's not that I wouldn't want to attend. Yeah. I really would.
Yeah.
I can only go out and play if I get my work done.
That's fair.
But tell me the details though. And
yes.
You know.
For sure. Maybe 2026. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe that'd be cool. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have the next Ancients book out by then, and the next Breeders book.
Yay!
Exciting.
So if you could choose a song to represent Sarah and one for David, what would they be?
Okay, so this one I also had to give a lot of thought. Nothing modern fits because, I did dream this up so long ago, and it is set in the book in the 90s. So for Sarah, it's going to be Angel by Sarah McLachlan.
Oh.
Yeah, Reid gets it. She's a very traumatized character. She's quite depressed at the beginning of the book. And in the song, it's like, oh, in the arms of the angel, and she finds her comfort. And that's literally what happens with Sarah and David. And in her dream, this nightmare that she has, there's always a pleasant part at the end where she's running away from the nightmare creatures that are chasing her. And she runs to a glowing figure. And that ends up being her memory of David. She doesn't remember really, but he's still in her head. Even though she doesn't have that memory, he's the glowing figure. So Angel by Sarah McLachlan fits super well, and I couldn't think of a really great one for David. The best I had was Burn by The Cure, but that's so associated with the movie The Crow for me that it's probably not fitting. But yeah, just a lot of yearning in this angst, a lot of angst. But definitely Angel by Sarah McLachlan, that one I'm sticking to.
Well, I can already feel the emotional tug.
Oh,
with that song choice.
I know. I'm like, oh my, is that what I'm signing up for if I read this?
Yeah.
It's pretty emotional. I don't know. I love it too. I always think I'm the first reader on a book, so it's I get to talk to people about my books. It's weird because technically I'm the author, but I also just kind of got to follow along and experience it. My brain was just here, let us make a story to entertain you, child. So sit down. And this is the story. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it too. I'm just as emotional about their journey as a reader would be. It's weird that way. First reader. And the story has to be interesting enough for an author to keep writing it. So.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Is there a specific scene or a character that gave you chills while writing it?
Oh, a scene, right. Yeah, there's a good scene in Ancients I really like where there's a bit of a mystery around what type of creature David is at the beginning, and Sarah doesn't know that she knows him from her past because she doesn't have any memories of that time. And he ends up getting picked up by her vampire clanmates, and they think that he is somebody who's out to attack them, and they don't know what kind of creature he is. He transforms into a tiger, and they're like, whoa, this guy's dangerous. He scratches one of them. So they imprison him, and they basically say, yes, Sarah's been spying for us this whole time. And she has been. She was initially tasked with trying to investigate him and find out where he's from, if he's a threat, what type of creature he is. So there is a basis to that belief that she's been spying on him, but he really he doubts her a lot. And then she comes and he's just completely turned away from her. And it's a very that scene always kind of gets me because she's just very heartbroken with that reaction and is like, no, of course not. I'm not, just out for the vampire clan. I care about you. And yeah, gives me a little bit of chill. There's also a good mic drop part that I like a lot where he says he doesn't explain what type of creature he is. She's like, oh, I don't even know if we're compatible. And it's their first kiss. And it's this really passionate kiss. And she's completely breathless by the end of it. And he's like, oh, I'm an ancient. And then he walks away and just leaves her being like, oh, what the fuck is that? I do like that one.
Info drop.
Mic drop one is good. Pardon me?
It's an info drop
he
right there.
Walks away.
Yeah,
I know. She's like, well, what does that mean? And she has to go and research it. Anyway. But that's also a fun moment.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So set the scene for us, Faye. What is the ultimate environment for channeling your inspiration through writing? So basically what does your little writing nook look like when you're in the zone?
Yeah, so some writers have these fascinating playlists and stuff, and it's all really meaningful music that they listen to when they're writing about their characters. I do not do that. I can't have like lyrics playing at all. And I'm super boring about it. I just listen to white noise. It's like 10 hours white noise. Sometimes it's like for babies to sleep. And I'm like, well, I need something to distract my brain enough that I don't get caught up on details, but I can't have anything too interesting. So sometimes even like, oh, put on classical music, and I'm like, this is too much. So white noise, or if I work outside, I like the nature sounds are fine. That's white noise enough for me. I do move around my house a lot. I don't have a desk, which is weird too. I could set up a desk. I'm at a desk right now, actually. I could be working at this desk daily. This is my husband's little home office area, but I kind of enjoy being able to move around. So I'm often sitting just at the dining table, or I'll move to the couch, or I'll move outside, or move to a chair. And it's just being able to kind of change up the environment if I'm starting to feel stuck, or if I've just gotten through an emotional part. Moving to like a different physical area of the home can actually be kind of helpful in that situation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
for sure.
A bit weird, but that's my ultimate, I guess. And something salty to snack on.
Okay.
Something salty to snack on.
I like it.
Gotta watch the water intake though.
Yes. Hydrate.
All right, so what is it like to collaborate with Lori Knight, and tell us about the Sisterhood of the Black Pen?
Ooh, that was very fun. I really enjoyed. That was the first time I've collaborated with anybody, and Lori and I are friends. We produced 2 anthologies together. So I guess I'll answer the co-authoring part first, and then I'll tell you about the Sisterhood of the Black Pen. But they're kind of related. Anyways. So Lori was preparing a short story for our anthology that we were producing, and I read it for her as a beta reader, and she just wasn't very happy with it. She didn't know she was going to submit it, and it was like short, and the story that she had was really good, but it was the kind of story where you're like, we need a lot more words to get this across. Like, you're not going to be able to fit it in the constraints that we had for word limits in the anthology. So I proposed to her, because I had some ideas of what direction it would go in, and I love horror. I proposed to her that we combine and co-author it, and we ended up, so I jumped onto the project, and we lengthened it quite a lot, and it became novella length. And it was fun. So it's kind of interesting. Like I would work on it, and then I would like pass it back to her. And she did all the spicy scenes because she'd written spicy scenes in her initial short story. And we felt like that should be consistent across authors. So like I would describe things differently. So like, oh, she wrote the spicy scene, so the next spicy scene should also be her. So like she was like entirely the spicy queen on that one. But yeah, it was fun to go back and forth and to pass things around and to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. I don't know that it would have worked as well if we weren't already good friends who'd worked together on anthology projects. So we together founded the Sisterhood of the Black Pen, which I'll now get into a little bit. We both in a writing group, and it's a fabulous group of female authors, and just kind of realized, hey, we got a lot of talent here. Why don't we do something together? So we produced a Christmas anthology just as a little group, and it was very fun. And I was the one who was the project leader, and it was like a ton of work and a lot of craziness and a lot of people to coordinate or whatever. Would have died there. But a year later, Lori approached me and she said, like, I will partner with you. We can do another anthology. And I was like, okay, you know what? If I had a partner to do this with, it's not as taxing to do selections and do beta reading. And I've done all the covers for them and stuff like that. So yeah, so she partnered with me and we produced 2 anthologies. The goal is to highlight new authors, female authors in the horror industry. So it's kind of been bothersome to see that there are a lot of talented people who kind of just don't know how to go about publishing. They just don't know the business. They're not confident enough to sort of figure it out on their own. And that's something I think that bothered both of us. So this is a nice way for new authors to kind of dip their toes in the water. It's not as intimidating to write.
Nice.
5,000 words compared to an 80,000 word novel of your heart, right?
Yeah,
Very true.
And they get
Cool.
experience. Seriously, yeah, you get experience with the editing. We kind of walk them through it, and experience with the marketing, with running an ARC team. Like the goal is for them to hopefully go on to feel more confident publishing. And yeah, we've done that for 2 Halloween anthologies. It's a lot of fun. Right now, I think we're kind of both taking a break. Lore has a new baby, so she's very busy with her baby.
Aww.
And I'm busy with my book babies.
Mhm.
I've been doing more Faye Knightley stuff, basically. The anthology is a huge time commitment, and right now I have 2 open series that I'm really anxious to get more books out for, and I'm really excited to share about. So not doing a ton with the sisterhood at this moment, but I do think we both care about it as something to do that's a good thing, and probably go back to it.
All right, Faye, if you could live inside any of your stories, which one would you choose and why?
I would choose Ancients, and it's because, can I be the characters in the story? Can I be like an ancient? Doesn't need to be Serendipity.
Absolutely.
Can
Absolutely.
I be like the type of creature that they are? Because I really like their world. Like I would live on that island and I would enjoy it. They're able to connect with nature and use their energy to grow things. They're able to like mentally connect, and they can turn into animals. So it's like that would be fun. I think I would enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would totally choose that world.
That is exactly my kind of world. I love it. All right.
Yeah, I didn't have to think about that one.
Yes. All right. So let's go back to talking about spice. So are you more vanilla in real life or hot fudge sundae with all the toppings? And would it be different if you had the mental connection?
So no. Okay, so I guess I'm kind of vanilla with a drizzle of chocolate. Like I don't know about all the toppings where it's like, whoa, that's a lot of kinky stuff going on. No pain. But anyway, I've definitely got a kinky mind. So, that definitely translates. The mental connection stuff is really interesting for the spice because it's like you're connected to the person's mind, and like you can see like what feels good, what doesn't feel good. So it kind of takes away that need to communicate out of the equation for the spice in with those characters, which is fun to write, right? Because it's like, oh, yes, I do enjoy like the earlobe, and you don't have to be like do that again because they're like, oh yes, I know that they, like they can kind of like anticipate and stuff. So that's kind of fun. The mental connection in the spice is the unique experience.
It's a new element that is very helpful.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so similar to that trend, like the this or that you'll see on the different social media areas, we have a quick little game for you, the author edition.
Okay.
So first up is sci-fi or thriller?
Sci-fi.
E-read or physical read?
Depends on my mood. And how pretty the book is.
Yes.
I have all of those. I have all of the Rebecca Yarros, like Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. Yep, they're there. I went to the midnight release party for Onyx Storm. I got my sprayed edges. It's pretty, and I'm reading it in the physical copy because I get happy every time that I do because it's so pretty. So yeah.
I love that.
But I mean, e-reader is so convenient too because you just take it around with you places, and
sure,
and you store so many books on there. So I don't know. That's a hard one to choose. It's an in the moment thing. I'll go for pure bulk of what I read. I'm gonna go for e-reader because
yeah,
quantity over quality.
Yeah. I just like e-reader because I can lay in my bed at night with the lights off and still be able to read, so my husband can fall asleep and I can actually keep going in my story.
It's true. It doesn't matter about the light source around you. I've read outside my kids' rooms a bunch of times, and if there's no good light source and it's a physical book, it's super frustrating because it's like
It is.
trying to turn the page.
yeah.
Gotta use that night light. You gotta use it for something. Nobody's sleeping anyways. Anyway, but yeah, it's nice that it has its own light source, and It's surprising, like sometimes with those big books, your wrist can get a little sore if you're just especially if you're clutching the book, right? Which I don't know if you can do that, but sometimes I'm like, oh God, what's happening? And anyway, I recently discovered there's a product. I got it at a book fair where you slip it onto your thumb, and it's plastic pieces on either side, and so you put it between the pages, and it holds the book open.
Yes. I've seen
and I'm
those.
like,
I've seen those.
I didn't even notice that it had like a strain on my wrist until I tried that, and I was like, wow, what is this?
Okay.
Anyway, I digress. I forget what the question was, but you guys. You gotta try it.
Like, right?
It's a sort of pricey question because that went way off track.
right off track, yeah. All right, well, this
is really beneficial for your wrist. There's a special device.
That is true. Yeah, I agree.
Love it.
And I see those. I've never tried them, so I like that you promote them. I'm gonna have to try it now.
I mean, I don't make them. I just.
Oh no! But like knowing someone who's actually used one, that like it actually does work.
To be fair, I think I've used it like 2 or 3 times since I got. I have no idea what this thing is. Like, I'm not great at keeping track of it. It's like a small plastic device. It's probably in the kid's toy bin somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
Like a throwing knife because it's got little. But at the time when I tried it, I was like, wow, amazing. My life has changed forever. So.
All right, so the next this or that is broody protector or flirty wild card.
Flirty wild cards aren't for me. It's the broody protector all the way.
All right, fast and hot or slow burn?
Slow burn. You gotta build up that relationship. I want to feel the tension before it happens. Otherwise, it's like the fast burn is, I don't know. It's like they're at the first date, they don't even know each other, and then they just have the goods. I don't know. It's like not satisfying as a reader. I need that still build up to get ready for it. Yeah. Definitely slow burn for me. Although not too slow. My God, I've read some books. It's like, touch her hand. Come on, you can do
it. True. All right, vampire or werewolf?
Vampire. I'm a vampire girl. Always vampire.
Family betrayal or romantic betrayal?
Just realized I shouldn't say that because I also have a werewolf series. I'm also enjoy werewolves. That's that favoritism coming in again. Ancients is like vampire, breeders is werewolves, and I'm like, oh, I'm vampire all the way. I love that one way more. Look at this werewolves. No.
Why choose? You can love them both.
Exactly.
Very true.
I choose indeed. What was the next this or that?
Family betrayal or romantic betrayal?
Oh, romantic, 100%. So much more like emotional, and well, I guess family stuff is emotional too. But I'm more there for the romantic, emotional stuff usually. So that's the kind of drama I want to see.
All right, bonded magical creatures or elemental powers?
Elemental powers, bonded magical creatures. I mean, they're doing their own thing. They've got their own mind. You're in control of the power. That feels like a better situation to be in.
That's very interesting. That's a good thought process on that.
My dog would be running off.
Right?
Please use your magic abilities to save me, bonded magical dog. And my dog would be like, oh, bye.
Squirrel.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, she chases birds, like she's not that bright. I don't want to put my fate in her hands. If I have my own,
I love that.
Save myself. Yeah, my cat, she'd probably just leave. I'd be like, nah.
Love it.
So,
all right, meet and greets or group chats?
So that's like a very context-heavy thing. So meet and greet, you mean like in person versus group chats? People prior to the meet and greet in person.
Yeah.
You do? You know them? You're familiar with the people?
Ooh.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay, so
let's say no. Let's say
maybe,
no.
Let's say no, you don't know them to make it like more even of a option.
Okay. I'd still probably do the meet and greet. Do meet and greet.
Cool.
All right, plotter or they see them in person and interact. Plotter or pantser?
Oh, I'm a pantser basically. I usually know the beginning, middle, and end. Like I have ideas for bits and pieces. Like I said, more I've developed in my new stories versus the old ones where it was all slowly being worked out. So I'll have that kind of framework. So I guess I'm not like a total pantser. But I did try and plot a book once. So usually I would just go along and be like, I know where this is going. But I tried to plot a book once and I was very interested in the story. It was a character who was half angel, half demon. It was going to be really cool. He was between both worlds. Loved it. And then I plotted it out and I lost interest in the book because I had it so like plotted detail for detail that to go and write it was like so boring to me. So I really need that the first viewing experience of being able to create it on the go. So I've really learned that about myself, and that story did not get written. I heard this from Stephen King as well. He's similar to me. Like I've heard some stuff from Stephen King and in his book on writing, where that's how he works as well. Like it becomes uninteresting if you have it already all sketched out versus, like I said, I'm my first reader, right? So it's more fun to read a book for the first time than to read it for the second time. So you're going to be so excited to read it versus, oh, I already know what's going to happen here. You know, there's no mystery to it. There's no drive to it. Anyway, it's a very long way of saying I'm sort of
All right, pen and paper or keyboard?
Oh, keyboard. I can't write in pen and paper. I mean, I used to, I guess, in high school because it wasn't as much computers everywhere available. But yeah, I need a keyboard. I actually need a keyboard. Some people write on their phones. I've edited on my phone. It's just not the way my brain works. My brain, I need to have the keys in front of me. I know where my letters are. I go. Whereas you're on a phone, it changes like the motor mapping of where the keys are. I don't know. It doesn't work.
All right, character. Yeah. I as I get older, I'm like I cannot use my phone as much as I used to. I prefer the laptop because the bigger screen.
It's
more spread out.
It's us 80s babies, Faye.
It is us 80 babies, yeah.
I'm an 84 baby. What are you guys?
81.
85.
81, Reid?
Yeah.
85? Yeah. Carrie? Rebecca? What are you guys?
I'm a 91. I'm a 90s baby.
90s baby. Rebecca?
85.
You're right. You're 85, right?
Yep.
I'm 84. Yeah. We're right in neck and neck.
We're right in that same.
Totally what I was talking about when I said Buffy. That was wonderful.
Yes. I remember like it was appointment TV. You can to watch it on the CW or WB back then, and then CW.
Yeah. Oh no. Every week I was there. I was like, it's Buffy time, and then it became Buffy and Angel time. But you know,
yeah.
And that waiting between season 2 and season 3. Or wait, no. Yeah, season 2 and season 3 where everyone thought Angel was dead. That was like, that was hard. It's like the hardest like TV movie cliffhanger I've ever experienced. I was just like, oh my god, she killed him. The love of her life. He's dead. Yeah, anyway, kids these days will never know what we suffered. I made my niece watch the ending of season 2 as a birthday present. She was like 19 at the time, so she wasn't like little or anything, but it was a birthday present that she would get caught up to Buffy to that point in that final episode of season 2 where Buffy stabs Angel, and I like was so overjoyed that she was emotionally distraught. Bad person moment. I recorded it. She cried. It was I cried too at the time, like when I first, but I was like, you need to know what this feels like. But I mean, I kindly told her, no, he lives after the fact, you know. Didn't want to spoil a moment. Drama.
Let her sink it in, let it sink in, and then...
Unlike us, where it's like, well, in 3 months' time, you will find out. Maybe.
We'll find out.
Because he wasn't even back at the start of the next season anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
All right. I could have a whole conversation on Buffy and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I loved that series so much. Character-driven or plot-driven?
Character.
And then reading first-person or third-person POV?
So I feel like a lot of books for us growing up were more third-person. And now I'm very spoiled by first person. I love first person. I feel like I can just be more in the character's head. It's more immersive. Originally, I started writing Ancients third person, and ended up going back and was like, no. I wrote maybe a chapter in. I was like, no, this needs to be first person. I like that. That the whole, like, the reader is having the experience of the character versus kind of just seeing it happen. She pulled out a hat. She put on a hat. Or like, I put on my hat and it was warm on my head. That's more like, oh, I can feel the warm hat on my head. So it's so weird when it's third person and they say stuff like that. Like, she pulled out the hat and it was warm on her head. And it's like the omnipotent narrator who knows everything that's going on the character's head versus when it's written like from the character. It just makes more sense to me. My brain's happier with it.
And I love the dual POV of Ancients too, so you get both of them.
Oh, thank you. And I added that in too. It was originally a single POV story with just Kira. And then I added the male point of view just to give some extra context and stuff. And I'm glad I did. Yeah. But I didn't add a lot because it's a bit of a mystery. There's a lot of mystery in it, and David kind of holds a lot of the secrets. So to have the male perspective, like, he'd be like, oh, I know this person from when we were kids, and like, this is what happened to her. And you'd be like, well, now I just know everything before Sarah does. It's more really about her finding out. So. Yeah, dual POV and first person for sure for me. This is the way.
Love it.
All right, so Faye, we've been asking all of our authors just for us to be able to help you guys out. That is what we were trying to do with this podcast, bring awareness to some more indie authors. What is the goal that you have for yourself as an author, and how can we as fans help you reach it?
I think I would just like my books to be a little bit better known by people, to be more of an option. To be recommended when people ask for recommendations, and just to get them out there a little more would be great. That'd be nice. It's really hard to get exposure on a book, so even with the ARC teams and stuff, I try to get as many people on the book as possible, because otherwise it's not being read, it's not being talked about, and it doesn't really make it on people's TBRs. And so, Ancients has gotten really good reviews, but it's still a book that's not well known. So what I really would like is for people to talk about the book on things like social media and stuff, where other eyes can go onto it, and more people can kind of be exposed to it and just hopefully pick it up. I have all my books on Kindle Unlimited, partly for that reason, because it removes the financial barrier of purchasing a book. Yeah. You can read the book with your subscription. I regularly do the free days, I just want people to pick it up and read it, mostly, and talk about it. I love when people talk about the books. It makes me very happy. So yeah, the ARC group is fun for that too. And I try and engage a lot with my ARCs, as well as Reid can tell you. And we do like some games and things on there just to kind of hype up about the book. And yeah, love it when people talk about it. Would love it if it was on a more public forum, so new readers could hopefully discover the book.
Yep. For sure.
Some book talks.
Faye, would you would you say that your stories are more for fun entertainment, or are there any specific messages that you're trying to convey to your readers through these stories?
Well, I think that I write to explore things. The Breeders' books are a little bit of a message. It's like an extreme version of how a society might function. Like, eugenics was a thing. Yeah. And so it's very sort of based on that idea as well, where the characters are matched up, and they're matched up according to who's going to produce the best child. And it's this very restrictive environment with the head dictator in a society where everyone has their roles and their pack loyalty is emphasized, and no individual is really as celebrated, right? Everyone is equal. Yes. And yeah, I enjoy emphasizing that and making it really apparent why systems like that don't work, that people are emotional and, you know, might want to have closer connections and not just be all about a collectivist society and only have loyalty to a pack, and family is a thing that's sort of natural. And yeah, just inferiority as well in that series. I have my second book, Watchers, is very near and dear to my heart. You guys will remember the movie Gattaca, or might remember the movie Gattaca. It has some of those elements to it. One of the characters is considered inferior and not included in their breeding program because he has asthma, and that can have a genetic component. So he's sort of given the role of a watcher, and he has to watch the breeding parties and make sure that people are all being safe, which is like a terrible job for him in his life. And he sees somebody, feels this connection with her, and infiltrates the breeding program. So that's my book 2. And I really love that story. Yeah, it just sort of shows you're judging people and you know, slotting people, and it's a number, and what's going to produce the best children. Then you have this character who he's a big guy, and otherwise he would be perfect as for somebody for their guard program, but he has asthma. He's hyper intelligent, and he's an artist, and he has all these other qualities that like the higher ups just don't see because, oh well, we've just decided, we've labeled him as an inferior, he's just a watcher. So yeah, there are some messages, I guess. I like the idea of people drawing courage from characters when they are standing up to situations like that, when they are working through trauma. I don't know, entertainment doesn't feel like the right word, but I guess, you know, somewhere in the middle between those two is where I land.
For sure. So, storytelling with a meaning, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Exactly.
So,
and it is
what?
Oh, I mean, it's
yeah. Sorry. So, what is next for you? And then also for our listeners, where is the best way to keep up with all things Faye Knightly?
What's next for me? I currently have 2 books that I'm trying to get out as soon as possible, and it's now summer vacation in my home, so it's like absolute chaos here. I have 3 kids, by the way. It's a lot of kids. Yeah, so I have two books coming out. I need to continue with the Breeders series. I have the next book, you know, up here again, beginning, middle, end. I'm working on it, working on writing it. At the same time, I can't let the Ancient series sit. Like, I'm so excited to be sharing that story. So I'm going to be continuing with both of the series sort of at the same time, which is new for me. I'll let you know how that goes. But I'm trying to edit, because I haven't drafted the second book for the Ancients, and also write a new book at the same time. So I'm trying to like find a way for my brain to distinguish between the 2 worlds and modes to get into. Like, maybe I need to, like, I don't know, put on a different hat when I'm working on Ancient. So I'll only work on it outside. Oh, it's raining today. Well, I can't do that. You know, I don't know. There has to be some contextual cues so that I can be like, this is Ancients mode. This is going to be Guards mode. And yeah. And the third book in Breeders is really good. I don't know. I do love all my book babies. I know I say that Ancients is my favorite, but maybe it's also nostalgia for me because it takes me back to like Buffy days and supernatural soap operas.
Okay, Faye, where can we find all things Faye Knightly?
Yeah, so I'm most consistent on TikTok, so that's probably the best place to follow me. I just find it really easy to make quick videos on there, and I copy them over to Instagram, but yeah, definitely TikTok. It's Faye, Faye .Knightly, KNIGHTLY .writer, and that's TikTok. That's my TikTok handle, and it's very similar in Instagram, except that it has underscores instead of dots. I don't know why. I think that maybe it was taken on their site. Or I just wanted to drive myself insane. I don't know. Yeah. But I confirmed before this meeting that the TikTok one was the one with the periods and not the underscore.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, TikTok for sure. I mean, I'm on Facebook also, but it's like connected to Instagram. So yeah, definitely TikTok, And joining my newsletter is also a great way. I regularly will post out about that. Probably every month, couple of months. So not like terribly regular, but if I have a new release or something, you'll hear about it first, and you'll hear about arc calls first on there. And if you go to that Faye Knightly writer TikTok, you'll be able to find my link tree, and it's on my link tree.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Faye, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and hopefully having some fun. Everyone, go
Yeah.
snag your copy of Ancients today and add another of Faye's books to your TBR. Next up on Sunshine Ladies Unraveling Tales, we're going to chat with author Olivia Booth.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.